Welcome back. Now we're going to switch our conversations and talk about something that's been quite topical in recent times in Nigeria. Now, according to the World Health Organization, there are 322 million people living with depression in the world, and with 15.1 suicides per 100,000 people, Nigeria is ranked 30th, is the 30th most suicide-prone country in the world, and 10th in Africa. There seems to be a lot more, I don't know if there's an uprise in suicides or there's a lot more reporting of suicides, but there seems to be a lot of that happening in the news and on blogs and social media, especially amongst young people. And I want to talk about that and see whether we can get some answers. I have here with me a suicide survivor, Titus Igwe. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much.
Can you please tell us your story with regards to what we're talking about today? How did it happen? When did it happen? And what exactly got you there?
Okay. I run a food and services company.
Okay.
And I have a twin brother. And we set this target for ourselves every year to get better and to improve in what we're doing. And how do we know that we are better? Is when we don't have any complaint or any job that we do. The food is good, the presentation is good, the service is good, and that's it. And we had this experience where a year when everything was just going very smoothly. And because of that, we were getting so much job. Money was coming. On a particular day, a particular weekend, we got 4 different weddings, 4 different venues. And these are large events. 1,500, 1,000, big weddings.
In one weekend?
In one weekend, on a particular Saturday. So we are for a whole 1 week, it was no sleep. We are preparing for this, everything, checking, okay, the team for this, everything. We did everything we think that we need to do possible. Because that's the first time we are handling such on a particular day. Yeah. And eventually, when the day came, it was nice. The food came out very well, everything. We met up on time. But what happened? Because we hired a lot of ad hoc staff that have not worked with us before. And in terms of the deliveries, we have labeled all the food. Now, this particular food was supposed to go to Ikeja 1. This was supposed to go to VI 2. And this one was supposed to go... And we had particular 2 locations at Ikeja. Now, what happened was that during the delivery time, the driver that was supposed to go to Ikeja 1, I don't know how, somehow he missed it. He doesn't know the food that he was carrying, but he was told you are supposed to go here. Now, the person that was supposed to pass information, it was all mixed up. So food that was supposed to go to Gbagada ended up going to Ikeja 1. Food that was supposed to go to Ikeja 2 ended up going to Ikeja. So imagine when someone ordered food for 1,000 people, and he ordered jollof rice, this and that, and it's a wedding, once in a lifetime event. And what they are getting was completely different from what they are supposed to have, And these jobs, we all got them from referrals, from friends who trusted us, and most times they have to stick out their head and say, no, these guys, I've used them for this and they cannot fail. That particular day, it was crazy. I know. Yeah. I got to the first venue. Everybody was mad. There was one particular venue I got to. It was only the continental, the desert that was there. The food was not there. The food was taken to another place, and they have served the food. So
at the end of the day, I guess the mix-up.
Everybody was shouting at me. I knelt down. I was crying. I was begging these people. They were all talking, saying all kinds of things. And when I was leaving that place, I said, "Oh, this has to be it. There can be nothing worse than this. What is going to get out and say, oh, these boys, they are not even as good as we think that they are, and all of that." And that was the edge for me, But the irony of it was that I was going through this, not knowing that even my twin brother was going through the same thing as well. We couldn't talk about it, And until the next day, a group of my friends noticed that he was like, let's go. I went out with him, and my brother now posted something on social media that, that there's no more, and I'm just going to end it. And people showed me and said, look at you, we are here. I mean, look at what your brother, and we have to rush home, to go and meet him, take him out for lunch, and and that was a so real experience. But you know what later happened? After this experience, most of those people that this job, we have to call them, we have to visit. Some of them even saw the post. They started calling us. I mean, this is not this bad. Even though we talked to you this way, it was probably because we were angry for spur of the moment and this and that. They ended up being some of our best customers that we still have up till today. Yeah. Mistakes do happen, but at that moment, I wasn't thinking about it because I was bent on perfection.
Yeah.
This has to be better.
So because that story is very, very important, because a lot of people, you know, when you look at people, when people talk about depression, there's a belief that it has to be someone who maybe has nothing going for them, or things are really terrible for them, or, you know, there's no money being made. But yours came at a point where you were actually doing business well. You could have moved on and be like, this was a mistake. But you still had that moment where you wanted to end it all because of this one thing, you know.
If you look at from statistics, most people who take their lives are successful people. People who have money, they are doing well, you know, as we think. But people have different things that they value. Some people it may be money. Some people it could be their integrity. Some people it could be their prestige or whatever they have built, or their social perception, you know. And while you may be looking at it that they have money, at that moment, for me, money is not the end thing. I want to build a reputation that when people say, oh, these guys, this is what they're known for, and because I believe that, just as Igbo people say that, a good name is better than money. So if I'm aiming at building that name, and then I feel or I see something is beginning to threaten that particular thing that I hold so dear to my heart, that can drive someone to
why do you think, to an extent, a lot of Nigerians still don't take depression seriously, like an illness? People say, oh, people can't even draw the line between sadness and depression. You know, what do you think is the problem?
Well, the thing is that, you know, there is one thing I've noticed in Nigeria. The things that we don't understand, we demystify it. Say, oh, it doesn't happen. And everyone, there's this notion again, especially among men. Notice the cases of the suicide is mostly on the part of men. Why? If a lady is pressed, or she will just start crying and shedding tears, and people say, oh, she's a woman, she's soft and that. But the way the society, Nigerian society has made it, I grew up hearing this saying that men don't supposed to cry, you know, and even my dad told me that, you know. So I grew up making myself, you know, even when I'm being broken inside, I have to always show this strength outside that, oh, nothing is going on, I'm fine. And from there, it grows from sadness, a temporal, you know, feeling that you have, to depression, and then it gets to that chronic depression where you have been blanked out, and then you just find yourself, you know, surrounded, and you're asking yourself, can anything ever happen from this kid? And when one can no longer get to that point where that ray of hope he can no longer see, at that moment anything is possible.
Why do you think it's become so prevalent, especially with young people? Like every day you go on the internet, is there someone in university, or some guy who's doing his NYSC, or someone who was trying to look for a job? A lot of young Nigerians, male and female, seem to be going through something that has either made this, you know, a little more intense or a little more reported. I don't know. But what do you think is happening with young people?
If you look at Nigeria now, if we all want to be very honest, for the very few years now, you notice that when young people look and there seems to be no way of hope, way of hope means that, okay, when you're looking at someone that's ahead of you, you think that is better than you, and you see that person struggling and suffering, and you're asking yourself, this person has all this, and he still cannot make headway. Is it my own that will be different? You know, and at that moment you begin to say, wait, oh, isn't this direction I'm even going, this thing I'm even hoping on may not even going to happen even in the first place? At that moment, you are beginning to think of, what else can I do? What else can I do? So if you look at it, before we have this, what I call it, you know, seeds of hope. If you hear, oh, there's a you win that if you do this, government is going to give you 10 million. If you have a business idea that is good, people say, wow, oh, if I do something good, I can get 10 million. That can, you know, motivate someone or push someone and say, you know what, even if it is only for this thing, I can strive. If I can get it better, I can do it better, I can compete, I have a chance to win in this. But if you look at now in Nigeria, it seems it's like everyone, you're on your own. Whatever you can make out of your own, you make. If there's nothing you can make out of it, you leave it. So everyone now looks at it, okay, I'm in school, I am studying this, I only have to make first class. If I cannot make this first class thing now, there's no chance for me tomorrow. And then just as I've said earlier, you see, we all have what we've held dear to our heart that means a lot to us. For me, it could be my academic degree that I must come out this with first class. And then you are there in school, you don't have money, lecturers is demanding this also money for this also assignment and this also assignment, and you want to make first class, and you don't have money to buy those equipment you've borrowed from all your friends. At that moment, you're asking yourself, oh, I'm locked in. I mean, there's no way out of this. At that moment, you see the person, and if he's not surrounded by good friends who he can open up to, you see that person will begin to go in and gradually say, you know what, I don't even care anymore. You begin to throw in the towel. And this things come slowly. Even me, I never knew. It is something that It just happens. It just happens, and it just happens. Keep on building. Keep on building.
Do you think social media has any role to play in this? Because there's a lot of people who think, okay, you know, with the way sort of Instagram, for example, works now, where everybody seems happy, you know, and everybody seems absolutely successful on social media. You know, you post all of the great things, you know, and a lot of young people aspire to certain things. Do you think that's also driving young people to a place where, you know, I can't be this person, or I can't live up to this certain standard, and so I can't take it anymore? Do you think social media has a role to play?
Of course. If you look at the social media, the way it is in Nigeria here, and then the perception of young people about what success is, when they look at someone with a flashy car, or look at someone seeming to look the good life. I know a friend who snaps about 100 pictures once with different clothes. And that picture, he said this picture is for a year. And then, you know, and he goes to one vacation, he takes different shots in different places, and he continues to upload this picture. It is make-believe. But many people out there doesn't even believe it. When they see an artist who comes out to shoot a video and is driving some kind of car, or take picture with a kind of car, say, oh, this person started singing within just 3 years, and look at where he is now. Forgetting those many nights of hard work, many nights of service. For me, I've got to that point, because what I learned from that experience I had was that when it gets to your neck, guy, cry it out. I've had many times, back in my closet, I shed tears, as I literally cry. I said, oh, this is getting too much. I cry while praying to God. I say, God, can you make a way for me? And I feel after each of these sections, I kind of have this, you know, feeling of relief. But when young people who constantly looking at, you know, other people on social media, and this is what made me, on my Instagram, for example, now, I have just very few followers. And I follow very few people. Very few people. Why? Because what's the point of me really following this person that has 1 million followers? Or someone that I feel that, oh, we are both in the same group before, but look at where he's going. But I know there are times and there are seasons. We may be doing the same thing, and you may pick up first. My own may come later. And if I begin to measure my own progress, my own success, with your own style, and I begin to feel that I'm a failure. But back there are thousands of people who are also looking up to me and say, oh, these twins are really doing so well. We just opened a kitchen few recently. And people say, wow, I mean, you guys are doing amazing, 10,000 capacity kitchen. This is big. This is huge. But when people tell me that, I say, you guys are doing what they, we thank God. Because I tell them, look, do you know how amount of millions I'm owing as a loan? Do you know, I mean, for every...
That's the reality that people never see.
That is the reality that people never see. Do you know that for every stage of success comes a different level of hardship?
And responsibility.
And responsibilities. It doesn't get easy as you go higher. It gets tougher. But you know what? As you grow through those difficulties, you become strong. Yeah.
Do you feel like you needed to go through, or it took you going through what you went through with regards to, you know, hitting rock bottom, quote unquote, mentally, to have this mentality now where you don't feel like you need to compete with anybody else? Did you have to go through that? And does everybody have to go through, hit rock bottom? Or what sort of, how do we start shaping, you know, the thoughts of young people to understand, you know, that, you know, competition might be good, but it has to be healthy?
Yeah. Well, for me, I think that experience taught me a lot of things. As I have said, when the emotion gets so much, don't bottle it, cry it out. That is one thing I learned from there. Number two, Titus, you're on this race alone. You own your own journey. Just focus, be on your own lane, and just keep on going. Don't look at what any other person is doing, however good he's doing it. Just focus on your own, follow your own process. Because the truth is that for everything that we want to accomplish, there is a process. And if you understand that this thing is a process, they say it takes years to become an overnight success. That success that people see instantly may be something that someone has been grinding behind the scene. Because the truth is that you cannot really be showing people what is going on behind the scene. It doesn't look glamorous. I mean, there have been days I have to fly back from CMS back to First Stack and to different places just to make a delivery of 1,000. There has been so many days that I've stayed without not having a single kobo in my account. Yes, I own a big business, seemingly that is looking very successful. But right in my pocket, I am down to zero. People don't know these things, but what they see is that, and I won't post it on social media, but if I buy a new car, there's every time that I say, oh, thanking God for my new ride, and someone will say, whoa, These twins, I know them. We started together in this also place, and look at where far these guys have gone. Not knowing what has gone behind the scene. And sometimes again, there is also what I call the make-believe reality, in the sense that I can be driving a car, but that car is not my own. Some people don't even ask, or they don't care to know about these things. Oh, look how far these guys are going. This is big, and this is. At that moment, they begin to forget. Oh, this I'm doing seems not be working, and that's why you see people jumping from one job or from one business to the another. It's not because they want to make impact. No, they want to hit it big. And if you also look at the cases of people who are also doing this internet fraud and so on, it's becoming like an end thing now. In Igbo, I grew up in the village. There's this concept that we have. They say, "Anapata ego." Onye apata ego. It means that this person has fetched wealth. The concept of epatanko, if you fetch firewood one stick at a time till it becomes a bunch. That is the same concept that Igbos have about building wealth. That's why someone will go through apprenticeship. From there, you get settled. From there, you begin to grow your own wealth gradually. But now, there's this new concept that has now come up among young people, especially among the Igbos. I can speak from what I know. He said, Igbozu. The idea of Igbozu is not to make it gradually or one
hit it instantly.
No, hit it instantly. And how do I hit it instantly? I can do this, or I can do drugs, I can make this also millions at once. And you know what? What comes with quick success is that it goes so quickly. You can't even manage it.
How can we start looking for a way to address this? I don't know if there's a role families can play, or schools, maybe guidance counseling can be a little more, I don't know. What should we be doing?
For me, first of all, from families, don't compare anybody with anybody. You can have 4 children, or you guys can be siblings, 7 siblings or 10 siblings. And this person seems to pick up first. Own your own journey. Focus on your own journey. Know that, this person is making. Be happy for that person. Celebrate that person. When we open our kitchens, a lot of my friends come, you guys did it. Come, I want to take you guys out. That should be the attitude first. Celebrate each other's success. I used to say, even within my own family, I say, you know what? We are one family, and we have something going for us. The more success you become, I should also feel that success, that, we are now becoming successful. And gradually, all of us will rise. But when the situation, siblings first begin to see it as a competition, they begin to push themselves to the edge. Secondly, schools. There are some students that cannot be very well academically, like others. We need to make room for this. Before, guidance and counseling, when I was in secondary school, our guidance and counseling unit was very, very, very strong. In fact, my guidance and counselor was my very best friend when I was in school. Because at the point, we had this struggle. I had this struggle academically, while in school. But this woman keeps encouraging me, say, Titus, there are things beyond school. I mean, today, mathematics, they are teaching you, you look at the find S, find that. Titus tomorrow is find the money. Not find S or find Y anymore. He said, you see, all of you are in this school together. In the next 10 years or thereabout, you all are going to go out of school. At that moment, it will not matter who took first when we were in mathematics or in English. No, it is who took first in his own choosing field. So Titus, just focus on identifying your journey and just focus on, go through the process patiently. And if your aim is to make a difference, if your aim is to make impact, you will always find avenues to do that without not measuring yourself with what someone else is doing. Yeah. You will find your own fulfillment by what you are doing in your own level. And the third one again is that in terms of churches, this idea that everybody have to make it is, I think that is also where one of the problem is. Oh, you are a son of God, you are a child of God, you are not meant to suffer, you are not meant to do this. It's a lie. It's a fallacy. Even Jesus Christ himself said it, if you want to be my own disciple, carry your own cross and follow me. Cross can be interpreted to anything. I mean, it means that the journey have to get difficult before it will get better. And I think this should be the message that we should start preaching from our pulpit. It has to get bad, it has to get worse, in most cases, before it will get better. And when we begin to shape our mindset like that, we will stop looking at, this person has already have a private car. It is because he goes to this church or he goes to that church. You can actually find God in your own space and then gradually follow through the process, and then you still find yourself at the end being happy and being successful, like those people that you look up to.
Thank you very much, Titus. It's a very sensitive conversation. I know a lot of people are going through a lot of things, and depression is a serious issue. Yeah. And I hope we Nigerians start taking it a little more seriously. Thanks for sharing your story with us.
It's such a pleasure.